Welcome back to page 121. I'm going to take another look at a place in Greyhawk, a place that's good for adventuring. In this case, we're just going to go a little north of the city of Greyhawk. I'll zoom in right here. We are going to the Nyr Dyv, or Nyr Dyv, depending on how you want to say it. I've had players say it both ways. I've always called it the Nyr Dyv. Greyhawk City is just south of it. You've got the Cairn Hills going right up to the coast, and then you've got the Nyr Dyv itself right there. It's got the Kingdom of Furiandi to the west, County of Ernst to the east, the Shieldlands to the north, and the Duchy of Ernst to the south. So the information I'm going to be reading from today is going to be out of the World of Greyhawk box set from 1983. That's where this map came from. It's the Darlene map. And then we're going to take a look at a little bit that was advanced in from the Ashes set in 92. So the Nyr Dyv, also known as the Lake of Unknown Depths. This body of water is the largest freshwater lake known to us, although legends and tales report of a veritable sea far to the west. Much commerce plies the waters of the lake, for Nyr Dyv has many navigable inlets. The rivers that it can navigate with is the Artansme, the Vang, and the Vel Diva River, and the outlets are the Nessa River and the Selentan. Selentan is more of a shallow river, so only low draft boats like barges can go down it the whole way. Its central position combines with these river routes, make it the busiest body of water in and around the Flanis. Cities of Edmundfort, Radagast, Lukish, Divers, and even Greyhawk rely heavily upon this mercantile shipping. Squadrons of warships move continually about its surface to keep raiders to a minimum and combat occasional predatory water creatures as well. One of the most unusual features of the Lake of Unknown Depths is the people who make their home upon great barges. These are folk trading, fishing, and generally earning their living upon the bounty of the Nyr Dyv. The Nyr Dyv doesn't really freeze over winter, so these folk, the Rene, as they call themselves, can live on the Nyr Dyv year-round. They just go to the southern portions and tie up in a bay for the winter. The Nyr Dyv can have storms and can be problematic in that regard. And of course, there are many, many creatures in the Lake of Unknown Depths. I've had a water dragon or two lurking in there. I've had a lot of fun on the Nyr Dyv. The players cringe when I talk about it because now they know they're going on a sea voyage, or not sea voyage, but an inland lake voyage. I always felt that the Nyr Dyv on the Greyhawk map owed its existence to Gary Gygax living in the Chicagoland area and then moving up to the Lake Geneva, Delavan area in Wisconsin, all of which have the Lake Michigan right near it. And the Lake Michigan, for anybody who lives around this area knows, Lake Michigan is a big weather maker here in the Chicago and surrounding areas. It can be very, very cool on days that would otherwise be hot if the wind is blowing off the lake. And some of our worst blizzards can come straight off of the lake from the east, kind of wrap around. And those are the really powerful blizzards that hit us. And I always thought the Nyr Dyv owed its existence to basically Lake Michigan. But the Nyr Dyv itself is well known for the monsters which inhabit its waters. Deep beneath the surface lurk huge creatures which prey upon unwary sailors or anyone so unlucky as to fall into the water. Warcraft and occasional merchants or bargees will bring these monsters back as trophies, and constant warfare upon these creatures is necessary to make the lake useful and usable. We also find out that Tensor, the magic user in the Circle of Eight, has his keep in the Cairn Hills on the southern lip of in the Cairn Hills in the southern lip of the Nyr Dyv itself. And then we have from the Ashes set, we get a little bit more on the Lake of Unknown Depths. The lake is a strategic body of water. There are lots of polities that need this lake to stay open for trade. And the navies of Furiandi and Ernst dominates this great lake, protecting the shipping that travels it. Ius has not yet sought to extend any naval strength to the Nyr Dyv. From the Ashes, Ius has conquered the Shieldlands, which are just north of the Nyr Dyv. In my Greyhawk campaign, Ius and his forces were thrown back out, and the Shieldlands are kind of a wild area right now. I use it as a kind of a Wild West type campaign area. I'll do a video on the Shieldlands sometime soon. Also the Horn Society, which is just a little bit northwest of there. There you go. The Horn Society is back in my campaign, and I've got brand new hierarchs. So they're all people that I've invented, including one called the Iron Mage. I'll tell you more about the Iron Mage sometime in the future. But that's still an ongoing campaign thing, so I've got to be careful what I reveal about the Iron Mage in total. But interestingly, in the Nyr Dyv, you do have all these creatures and people that rely upon the Nyr Dyv, and you can do plenty of adventures for the Nyr Dyv. Your players, for whatever reason, you feel your players need to get their sea legs a little bit. It's a great place to start because it's not that huge compared to an ocean or a sea, but it is big, and you can have them cross in a boat in a couple of days, but you can have plenty of encounters along the way. So if they're headed up, say, from Greyhawk to the Shieldlands, best way to do that is going to be to cross the Nyr Dyv. Maybe they could rent passage on one of the Rene folk barges, and then they could go up that way. The Rene know the lake very, very well. I love the idea that Tenser's got his keep in the Cairn Hills, on the southern shore of the Nyr Dyv. It's just another place right there with the Cairn Hills and the domain of Greyhawk. These are just great places for your characters to adventure. So that's what this whole series of videos is about, is just different little chunks of Greyhawk that you can focus on, and you can either do a full campaign in it, or maybe it's just 2 or 3 nights play. But they're just different areas that I've used over the years, and maybe I've changed them a little bit, maybe I've left them as they were, but it's a fun area to adventure. I like doing these. I hope you guys like them. Let me know what you think. If I need to put a little more meat in the bone, or if these little quick thumbnails of the areas are good enough, whatever you want. I could dial into one particular area or another and go in greater detail, up to whatever's in the books and whatever I've done in my campaign. And I will try always to differentiate between what's going on in my Greyhawk campaign and what's going on per the actual write-ups from TSR than WotC. So anything official versus what I've done in a campaign. I'll try to differentiate between the two so there's no real confusion. But that's all I've got today on page 121. That's a quick look at the Nyr Dyv. The Lake of Unknown Depths, just north of Greyhawk, feeds into the Celentan, which goes past the city of Greyhawk. So you've got all kinds of adventuring ideas right there with the Cairn Hills right there. And there's just all kinds of fun to be had. So that's all I've got today on page 121. Please let me know what you think of this series of videos. If you want me to keep doing them, or if I should do something else, let me know. If there's any way I can tweak this to improve it a little bit, please let me know. Constructive criticism is always wonderful. So that's it. That's all I've got to say today on page 121. Let me know what you thought. Please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. And I'll see you next time.